Thank you for joining us, Professor Park. Continuing from where we left off previously, you'd mentioned that of the case between SK Telecom and Netflix, and can you explain what the court has said so far in that case?
Right, right.
There is also a sense that is there a law already in existence in South Korea, which is called the Netflix law, so to speak, which allows telecom or internet operators or internet companies to charge content providers a certain fees?
Let me take, those are two separate questions. So let me take the latter one first. There is no law imposing obligations on content providers now. What we, if people call some existing law, Netflix law, I think they're talking about the law passed in 2020.
Yes.
That required content providers to be responsible for the quality of transmission of the network traffic. Now, it's not clear what that actually means because it is the ISPs that have control and the capacity for smoothing out the network traffic. They are the ones who own and control the pipelines through which the network traffic is delivered. If you think about the context in which the law was passed, we can guess what the law could mean. This is related to one of the questions that you asked. When Facebook connected its cache server to the data center of KT, because of the law that imposed sending party pay rule on the ISPs, among ISPs. Now that law exists, okay? That law already exists. That has existed in 2016. Because of the law, as KT hosted Facebook cache server, KT often became the net sender. By net, what I mean is like washing out the data traffic sent versus traffic received, right? In terms of net calculation, KT became often the sender of the traffic because of the under the 2016 law. They had to pay the receiving ISP like KT and LG Uplus, two other conglomerate ISPs in Korea. So hosting Facebook cache server now became a liability because of the 2016 law. So now KT asked for payment for connecting or allowing Facebook to connect its cache server to KT, and Facebook, of course, refused because Facebook cache server was connected to KT. It has been connected directly, has been connected for a long time because of for the benefit of KT. Because I mean, financially, for the financial benefit of KT, because if all the traffic of Facebook came through the normal route through which normal international transit route, where KT had to pay internet access fee or equivalently transit fee to the upper tier ISP, that money would have been huge. So by having Facebook directly connect to KT saved a lot of money. Of course, it was also for the benefit of Facebook because now Facebook content can be made available to Korean people going through less router hops. Means there was much less latency in accessing the Facebook content. But mainly, it was for the financial benefit of KT. But now KT is demanding money after having had a good relationship. So Facebook refused. And because Facebook refused, what Facebook did was, okay, if you don't want to connect with us for free, I'm going to route the traffic the other way. So it routed the traffic through Hong Kong and Tokyo, that caused a lot of latency on the users of Facebook in Korea. And 2020 Netflix law, our guess is that it was passed to kind of I don't want to say prohibit, but make it difficult for Facebook to change the routing of the traffic. But that really is not a big deal, because it's like chicken game, right? I mean, if what Facebook could have done was just do nothing, right? Do nothing and not make the payment that KT asked for, right? Then if KT is dissatisfied, KT could have stopped the connection, cut the connection themselves. If that happened, then the 2020 Netflix law would not have applied to that situation. So it's not clear exactly what Netflix law does. There was no situation that the law was actually applied against any content provider. By the way, that is the world's first law that imposed quality of service obligations on content providers, which really have no capacity or control on the data traffic.
So just to clarify, is Netflix required to pay because of the law or not?
No. Currently, there is no law. Requiring Netflix to pay any money.
So then why is it called the Netflix law?
Because that dispute between KT and Facebook, it got settled. The only other party that was in dispute was Netflix. Now YouTube is another big player, but the popularity of Google services in Korea is just so overwhelming that for some reason no telecom in Korea has really demanded that Google pay anything.
So this clarifies some of the
Right.
confusion that is being caused over here. So you're saying Netflix does not need to pay a fees right now to any telecom operator?
Right.
And what is the status of the court case?
Okay, I mean, to put it simply, SK Telecom demanded money from Netflix, and Netflix is suing SK Telecom to get a declaratory judgment from the court that Netflix does not owe SK Telecom anything. The reason SK Telecom is asking for money is SK Telecom is again directly connecting with. I mean, this is like the Facebook KT dispute, except that this time SK Telecom really doesn't have any financial reason to demand the money from Netflix. I mean, with the KT was hit with the sender pay settlement fees under 2016 law. SK Telecom is not in the situation, but SK Telecom for some reason decided that the sender pay rule should be extended to Netflix, and when the sender pay rule now applies only among ISPs. Now, SK Telecom made an argument that although SK Telecom is now SK Telecom and Netflix is directly connecting with each other, again for the same reason that local telcos around the world are directly connecting with there's big internet companies like Netflix, Google, and Facebook, because they are covering so much traffic that if the local telcos get their traffic through ordinary route, they'll be paying just huge money, a lot of money to the higher tier ISPs. So they want to avoid that. And Netflix, Google, Facebook, one commonality among them is that they all also want to optimize the services to their users around the world. So they have spent a lot of money delivering the traffic to the doorstep of local telcos, so that local telcos don't have to pay for international transit to higher tier ISPs. So that has been the situation where SK Telecom and Netflix is directly connecting with no payment exchanged.
So I'm looking at the submission of an Indian research organization called ICRIER, and it writes that in December 2020, the National Assembly of South Korea promulgated the so-called Netflix law, which requires content providers that attract an average of more than 1 million users per day and account for more than 1% of Korea's internet traffic are responsible for ensuring network stability and
Exactly.
to pay a fees to cover network use.
Oh, okay. That part must be a mistake or mistranslation. Such a phrase is not in the law. Pay a fee. Such a phrase is not in the law.
Understood. Understood.
Yeah.
Professor Park, one challenge that network providers face is that telecom is heavily regulated, and telecom operators are unable to charge more fees and pay for infrastructure, even the traffic, especially video traffic, is increasing exponentially. What ways can telecom operators generate more revenue to fund their infrastructure development?
Well, telcos are most telcos have the internet section and mobile section. Now, when I say mobile section, I'm talking about kind of a network of access points, the cell towers. Now, as to charging consumers for use of cell towers, they are heavily regulated, and their prices are heavily watched. But when it comes to the internet, which is the wired network of computers, they are not so much regulated. So it is really it's really not a good argument.
So about 96% of internet access in India is on mobile.
I see. Good point. Good point.
And yes, and they also have to pay a lot of money for spectrum.
Sure. In terms of so in the case of India, I can see that most of the internet traffic in the end goes through mobile, and so what you're saying is most people are instead of paying like set monthly fees per the speed of the internet at home, they are paying for data usage, like
yes,
so and so dollars per like 5 gig of data usage, right?
So we have monthly usage fees, and we pay approximately 13 cents per GB with a limit of 1 GB per day.
Okay. So you pay by volume. Okay. All right. Well, then I have an even better answer. Well, as internet traffic rises, what consumers are paying will also rise. So actually, telcos may be regulated on how much they can charge per unit of data that they handle. But as the traffic volume rises, the revenues coming from the users will also rise. So there's really nothing to worry about. It is now that's for India. Now, how about in other countries where most internet traffic is through wired internet? Well, there the wired internet, the cost of maintaining wired internet is not sensitive to traffic. So I can show you I might have showed you in the previous.
I think you did, Professor Park. You did.
Okay, so I showed you the graph, right? So if you look at this,
Yes,
if you look at this graph,
you had shown us
the,
this.
yeah, the red line shows the rise in the traffic. The green bar shows the network maintenance cost. While the traffic increased 5 times, the cost of network maintenance remained the same. So that's why the telcos in other countries than India also have nothing to worry about when it comes to the rise of the internet traffic.
Great. Thank you for your time, Professor Park. Really appreciate it. For dispelling rumors.